Welcome in, everybody. It is Tuesday night, which means it's one thing and one thing only. It is the Fantasy Cheat Sheet presented by Going for Two Live. Before we get into the cast and the crew, we got to do one thing. Let's hit that button.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, like I already said, it is Tuesday night. It is time for the Fantasy Cheat Sheet presented by Going for Two Live. Week 10 is over. We're moving into week 11. What is up, guys? Jamie, what is going on?
Happy 11/11, everyone. The official Make-A-Wish day. You only get one, so you got to make it count. Mike's probably wishing I behaved tonight, but Vegas has the
I know
odds
better.
at 6-7 against him. So place that bet now.
Jordan, save us.
What's going on, y'all, man? I'm ready to talk some football. Last week, Raul said he was officially back after a good week. I feel like that's how I feel this week, so I'm ready.
Yes, sir.
Raul.
Jordan, I'd love to hear that. Week 10 was also good for yours truly. We're hitting a lick at the right time of the year. I feel like the franchise is surging in November. You know, as the winter gets cold, our form gets hot. So excited for another episode of the Cheat Sheet with you boys.
So my week was mixed, but the one good thing is Scott Fishbowl playoffs, baby. Let's ride.
Let's go.
Well, Jonathan Taylor didn't hurt my team. KW9, on the other hand, could have been a little bit better. All right, let's get straight into the news of the week before we get into everything else. Let's just jump right into the bad, not injury bad, take a hike bad. The Chicago Bears beat the New York Giants on Sunday. Yes, Jackson Dart got dinged up. Probably he's on concussion protocol, so he could miss this week. The bigger problem is Jackson Dart first lost his running back Cam Scatterboo for the year, and now has lost his head coach Brian Dable, who was fired early Monday. Jamie, I know you love Dart, so what? I want you to talk about this partly from the Dart perspective.
Well, I mean, I guess it could be a good thing for Dart going forward. I mean, Dayball just wasn't getting the job done. So rest of the year, I don't expect much from the Giants. But going forward, if they find a decent coach, I'm expecting Dart to be that top 10 guy that we all I expected him to be.
Jordan, take it away. I'm giving you free reign because I got a question for Raul.
No, I think maybe Brian Dayball was endangering Jackson Dart on all those running plays. So maybe, this could be good for his long-term health. I mean, we love it as fantasy managers, his rushing ability, but I think he could be a little bit smarter about that. And the coach doesn't have complete control over how he chooses to try and stiff arm or run over linebackers, but the frequency of the design runs and the scheme of it, I think, could be better. And so maybe that changed. I think overall for Dart, though, whoever the coach will be, is going to be somebody they want to maximize his skill set and kind of build around him and neighbors. So I think his trajectory is still going to go. I don't think this hurts his long-term prospects at all. So I'm just interested to see who they decide to hire.
All right. So before you give your overall thoughts, Raul, Jordan did not know what I was going to ask you, but he just said, I am interested to see who they hire. I've already seen one very interesting name brought up. That person said, quote, I am interested in my Tar Heels versus the Wake Forest Demon Deacons and not the Giants' job. Is that even a possibility?
Possibility, yes. Reality, I don't think so. I think, well, Bill Belichick aside, that's we could dedicate probably a whole episode to what's been going on over there. But
Yes.
I think Giants' job overall, this has to be one of the most desirable head coaching gigs on certainly on the market right now. But even if we get to the end of the season, I mean, Jordan kind of touched on it. Both Jackson Dart, Malik Neighbors, key young pieces on rookie contracts. You've got great pieces all across the D line. Andrew Thomas, health permitting, is a very strong left tackle. Um, you've obviously got the New York market, right? This is one of those jobs that always will have that kind of name, cash, brand attached to it. And the owner, John Mara, has been extremely patient. Now, so that is all to say, I think they will get a high caliber coach in which Bill Belichick has been in the past, which I cannot say for certain he currently is. But it'll be very interesting to see who goes there. And I do hope they go with an offensive minded head coach. Personally, I'm not about the defensive minded head coach hires. Is
So
my
I am
take.
with you. I am with you, but I'm going to go with a caveat. I hope they go offensive minded coach. Yes, usually it flips from whatever the last one was in Dable's offensive minded.
Yeah.
But what I hope they don't do, and I don't mean go snag this coach because he's already a head coach. I just mean this type of move. I think they need a offensive minded coach that's already been a head coach and has a little bit of success. What I mean is they don't need to go get it. I don't think this is the right time to go get the next Ben Johnson. This isn't the time to go get the next OC. They need some, because of New York, because of Dart, because of Neighbors. They need someone that's got a little bit of more mojo and go get someone that's got, even if it's not real, but got more. Not just someone that's like, oh, I think they're a great offensive mind and go. They need someone has pedigree in the NFL.
Yeah, completely agree.
All right, let's get to the next piece. There's two pieces of news that we will bring up. First off, J.K. Dobbins off of a hip drop tackle on Sunday. Possible IR stint with the foot. Jordan, let's start off with, what does this do about JK? Or no, you know what? Jamie, I'm giving you JK because it's your state. I want you to I want you to talk about JK. Jordan, you're going to go off the Harvey sitch. Go, Jay.
Well, JK, I know Raul was all on him. I believe that was one of your takes, and
Yeah.
I didn't believe in it too much. So I am on the Harvey side of it, but I don't know. It does help Harvey, but with JK, he did have a tough schedule going forward. We talked about it a few weeks ago. So, yeah, it sucks for Denver losing a key piece, but I think it's going to help the young rookie. And what's up, Albert, in the chat?
Yeah,
Bring it up right now.
I guess it's one of those things where it was only a matter of time with J.K. Dobbins. He's had a unfortunate injury history. Doesn't look like a season-ending injury like he's had before, but I think Harvey hasn't really been efficient running the ball. Dobbins has been really efficient, averaging close to around the 5-yard per carry mark. So he's been good for the time he's had the opportunities. Harvey has scored some touchdowns, but just like mostly in the passing game and short yardage things where Dobbins has gotten there and then he's kind of got in and took the touchdown away. But we're going to see, this is going to be a good opportunity for him. I'm not sure. This is still Sean Payton, so we're gonna bring up Jaleel McLaughlin's gonna get some time, and Bidet, or however you pronounce his name, he's gonna get opportunities as well. So it's not gonna just be Harvey's backfield, but he needs to be a more efficient runner so that it can pay dividends for fantasy.
Roll.
Yeah, I think the guy said it all. I really do like Dobbins has been very good and outperformed RJ Harvey in simply every metric across the board besides like longest rush of the season. Like Harvey had like a 50-yarder and a 70-yarder, but then J.K. Dobbins was amongst the leaders in 10+ yard carries. I think it is a blow, but when you come down to a fantasy football, even if a Jaleel McLaughlin type or Tyler, we'll go with Bidet today, siphons away some touches. I think the high value touches were always going to be between Dobbins and RJ Harvey, and now should be monopolized by RJ Harvey. So I'm really excited to see what he can do. Obviously, has a massive ceiling, but very hard to make that weekly projection when he's literally getting like 2 carries, right? So I'm excited what he can do. I think he has RB1 upside with that pass catching profile and explosiveness that he brings.
Yeah, for sure. The only thing I will say is like Harvey's usage will go up, but Jordan, you said it. You brought up McLaughlin, and just last year just still gives me nightmares. So, like you said, it's not going to be, his usage is going to go up, but it's not going to be the point that we would want. It's not going to be that kind of a situation where it's going to be a workhorse back. Jamie brought up that there's this schedule. I get that, but it's God. You might as well just put like Sean Payton. That's all I'm going to say. All right, so let's get to the next piece of info. I did not see this coming. Was it last week, 2 weeks ago? We found out that Travis Hunter got hurt in practice. They said they put him on the IR for 4 weeks, but they said he's going to be back. All of a sudden, no surgery. Today, he comes out that he's having surgery for an LCL injury, out for the season. They spent a lot for him. Jamie's Browns are going to benefit from that. So, Jordan, take it away.
Yeah, I didn't see this coming as well, but I mean, maybe this will give him some time to figure out how to use him correctly when he comes back next year. This season felt like a loss in fantasy for him, just because like he had that one big game. I think it was their last game in London, and then they went on a bye, and then he got hurt in practice, and then we've never seen him again. So that's unfortunate. I think that they knew that, which is why they traded for Jacoby Myers. I mean, I guess they knew he was hurt, which is why he was on IR, but I guess they kind of knew it may have been something that may have required something that they wasn't telling us. So they traded for Myers, and he kind of fits a role for them. So I think, this doesn't affect his long-term outlook for me. And I think for the team in the short term, getting Jacoby Myers kind of fills a void, having Parker Washington, and then whatever Brian Thomas comes back from his injury, I think they'll be fine in the receiving core.
Roll.
Yeah. I mean, this whole Travis Hunter situation kind of like encompasses fantasy football for me because his last game played was his big boom game of the season, right? Like 20+ fantasy points. They have the bye. So then you're like, okay, post bye rookie bump. It's absolutely time. Then the media is like, Travis Hunter might be the wide receiver 1 of this team moving forward. They're kind of, souring on BTJ, and then immediately, Wednesday healthy, Thursday practice injury, IR, out for the season. And this is just like the game we play, guys. So, very frustrating as someone, especially in Dynasty, really invested some high picks in Travis Hunter to see how this first season's has gone. But yeah, hopefully a healthy off season, one that he can actually use to perhaps learn a position that he did not practice at all in college, that being wide receiver. That's the one that scores us the fantasy points. But as a rookie year, it just has to go down as a major disappointment.
Yeah, for sure. Jamie, take it away, dude.
Yeah, so let's look at the positive of the situation. It was an isolated LCL tear. There was no other damage to the knee. So he is expected to make a full recovery. They say by May he should be good to go. And this gives him time to actually, sit back, watch some tape, prepare for his return. And he does have a history of like a strong work ethic. So I think he's going to take this time serious and come back strong.
I agree with you. I hope he comes back strong. Like you brought up, I think it was the problem with this whole thing is they don't know what they're doing when it comes to usage of them, and this probably isn't going to help them figure it out because they need to know what he does on the field, and other issues are alone on this team don't help the situation. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this show, as I like to say. Man, I'm going to move a couple guys around on this one for certain reasons. Man, I got to bring you guys back because I went to another screen so I can make sure I was on the right thing. I got to bring you guys back up for this because I need to see someone's reaction about what I'm about to say. Man, did you guys watch this amazing game last night?
Dude, yes, we did.
10-7 Philadelphia over Green Bay. And usually I throw this over to Jamie for Monday Night Football takeaways, but I'm not going to. I'm not throwing it to Jamie because I should be asking Jordan. I should be going, Jordan, what did you think about your team on this? What did you think about your team on this? But thanks to two behemoths in the media industry that are pissing Jordan off, Jordan doesn't even have a Monday Night Football takeaway about the players on the field. So I am just letting Jordan have open reign, baby. Let's go.
So I have a mini rant, and my takeaway is a four-letter word that I want to say to YouTube TV and Disney for stripping us of Monday Night Football coverage, college football coverage on Saturday. I can't even watch Abbott Elementary on ABC. None of these things. It's just
that's
like
a first.
It's like, why? Why must this happen? I mean, I missed Dallas and Arizona last week. Okay, Brissett. Okay, whatever. Packers, Eagles.
Your team.
Yes, my team. Couldn't watch it. Had to keep looking at the stats. There wasn't much stats to look at even. So, it was just, I hate them both. I'm stuck with YouTube TV because I have the Sunday ticket, so I'm not going anywhere right now.
You're not going anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere, but this is the second Monday in a row, and I'm just fed up. So I just got to hear what you guys have to say about it, and we can just go from there.
Well, back in our day, me and Mike, we had this thing called antennas on our TV that you just put in the back and watch 358, and that's what I do now. I don't have YouTube or Disney, so I actually watch it on regular TV.
So you said you used to watch it on 3, 5, and 8.
Yeah.
Did you watch it on 6, 7?
Good one, Mike.
Got him. Yeah,
so good.
Before
Jamie, bring us back under control.
All right, Jamie. Will you please do me a favor and let Jordan know how historical this game was?
Yeah, so we actually witnessed a little piece of history last night, and 0-0 going into halftime. And this was the first scoreless half of Monday Night Football in the past 16 years. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Wow. So,
will you tell them who the other teams were?
Ravens and the Browns back in 2009 and in 2007. I think there was another one. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, there was 3 Monday Night Football games in the past 55 years of history that ended in 0-0 at the half. So these scoreless first halves, honestly, that's enough, man. 3 is way too many because it was not exciting. I almost turned it off.
Yeah, that's fair.
Raul.
Yeah. My takeaway, Jordan, and let me explain what I was thinking, is Packers offense really struggled without Tucker Kraft. Obviously, the team's leading receiver. The box score, it says it all, right? 7 points, 176 pass yards. Josh Jacobs with the most catches. Christian Watson with the most yards, and that just came on 2 catches for 45 yards. Luke Musgrave stepped into a full-time role, but only provided 3 catches, 23 yards. Dontavian Wicks with the most targets. Just seemed like a mess. Romeo Dobbs got balled up and then left with an injury, albeit in the fourth quarter. So he was there for most of the time. Matthew Golden injured and missing. Jaden Reed's still out. So, like, that wide receiver room, that, I guess, pass catching core that we looked at, and we're like, man, they should probably even shift a guy for depth because they have so many guys. Seems like they have no guys. And I think Tucker Kraft, what he does so well is, efficiency monster, right? But he's catching a lot of short routes and, taking them with yards after the catch. And it really did seem like Jordan Love missed that outlet. Like Josh Jacobs kind of maybe took over that short ADOT role we were kind of debating on the last episode, but really seemed like the offense lacked a spark. Lucky for them, they've got the likely Russell Wilson and coachless New York Giants next up. So I think hopefully you can catch the game because I'm sure a lot of points will come. But in that first game without Tucker Kraft, really seemed like they missed a key weapon in the pass game, and certainly on the ground too with what Kraft does in his blocking.
All right, so I'm going to bring up something to keep going with what you're saying before I give my takeaway. What was the guy's name who became a DB from wide receiver?
Bo Melton, yeah.
When Bo Melton's name is being brought up more than almost any other offensive weapon besides Josh Jacobs, and the problem that I had with his name being brought up, Jordan, wasn't the fact that they were throwing to him. Joe Buck needs to shut up. Because every time that Jordan Love threw to Bo Melton, he said every single time, Jordan, the wide receiver that was converted to DB, then converted back to wide receiver, Bo Melton. Every freaking time. Okay, so here's my takeaway. Yes, Philly's got a good offense when they're clicking. They're not always clicking. Yes, if you didn't see it, Jordan, Jalen Hurts should have had close to a touchdown and got down to the 5 or whatever and then knocked the ball out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Kyle, I did say it. Joe Buck needs to shut up. I did say it. Okay, so here's the thing. But my take is not away on the offense. It is on the defense. You already have a good defensive line with the Georgia Bulldog front line. You got Nakobe Dean, and then in the back you got Cooper DeJean, Blankenship. Mitchell was doing good before he got dinged up a little bit. And then Miami goes and lets him get Jalen Phillips. And right off the bat, I think it was almost first play of the game, Rip goes on the outside, gets to Jordan Love. Then, like 2 plays later, gets to Jordan Love. Someone else comes on the other side and gets to him. He had 4 tackles, 2 assists. This defense, once Jalen Phillips keeps getting involved, is going to be even better. The thing that I forgot about it is that Jalen Phillips played for Vic Fangio in Miami and was on pace to have his best season before he got hurt that season. Okay, I got to throw this in there. Okay. I agree. But yes, Aikman too. Aikman's up there. You might as well throw Aikman in the same corner of the conference room of Chris Collinsworth and then just put then just throw the key away. Either Love missed the throw or the receiver dropped the ball. Yes. And then let's see this one. Pretty sure Buck called to Tavian Wicks, Bo Melton. He wanted to use that wide receiver to DB, to WR to DB. Yes, he used it way too much. The thing that scares me about this Eagles is if they can get this offense clicking, this defense is going to do damage in January. And I do not need to see, I don't need to see the Eagles. I was going to say another line, and then I realized I needed to shut up. I don't need to see the Eagles in 3 straight Super Bowls. I don't want to see it. You see, I think Collinsworth. Oh, I'm not saying no. I'm not saying Collinsworth isn't. I think Collinsworth is better than Aikman. I just don't like either one. Anything else we need to bring up about Monday Night Football before we go into one of the best segments that we have?
Well, I think we talked about everything in a 10-7 game.
Hey, we didn't talk about how bad that last kick was.
Oh man.
After like getting almost there, and then having Sirianni and them all pissed off, and then yeah, that was great.
So I mean, certainly, right? Like the Packers kicker literally got a free chance to test his range on that timeout called. They look like they changed their mind based on information gained that they shouldn't have had the chance, right? Because Love came back out, tried to throw a quick out, kicker came back on. Just at the end of that game was
It was weird.
ridiculous.
All right, so it is time for real or fake. And now, okay, Jamie, before you go on this one, I was so tempted to put my name next to it, but I didn't because I know I'm just going to literally get all mushy and just not be able to drool because not to be able to talk. I'm just going to start drooling because I'm just going to act like that kid that just saw his like 13-year-old crush walk by in his freshman year in high school. So take it away.
Yes, man. We need to talk about Travion Henderson as a real because finally show the world why they spent that 38th pick on him. Like he has arrived. So I know Stevenson was out, Terrell Jennings was banged up. So Henderson got that backfield all to himself, and he didn't waste a single freaking snap. 14 rushes, 147 yards, 2 touchdowns, 10.5 yards a carry. Like those are video game numbers, and like these weren't your like little goal line dives either. Like this man ripped off 2 home run shots. He had a 55-yarder where he hit 22 miles per hour on that field. That was the fastest speed by any rookie this season. And then I think they sealed that game with that 69-yard run with less than 2 minutes left. So he was the first Patriot rookie running back ever with 2 50-plus yard rushing touchdowns in one game. So that's Patriot history right there. But what really stood out to me was not just the stats. It was like how confident he was, how explosive. He was patient behind his blocks, and then boom, he just took off. Like he wasn't running like a rookie trying to like earn touches. He was running like a guy saying, "These touches are mine now." And I love that in him. So fantasy-wise, he went nuclear, over 28 points, RB1 numbers, and I don't think this was just some fluky game, man. It's like this is a legit breakout, and you could see the confidence building with every single run that he had. And now the question is, does this earn him a bigger role even when Stevenson comes back? Because like if the Patriots are serious about keeping that offense explosive, you can't just cut this guy's carries. You know, especially with that kind of speed that he has. Like Henderson looked like a real player, not just some fantasy name, but a real difference maker. And I know he has a short week coming up against the Jets, so we'll see how they split if Stevenson does come back or Jennings is playing at 100%. But it looks to me like Henderson is the truth.
Jordan, will you take this one?
Yeah, he is by far the most explosive back they have. We've been knowing that it took injuries for them to finally give him a chance. Couple of things about his performance: the 2 long runs just showed that like nobody else that they currently have is capable of that. However, the one thing it was like the other 12 carries went for 23 yards, and I guess that's what you're gonna have to live with the Patriots running back situation overall. But like he shows that he has that home run ability at any point. Another thing is that the targets weren't normally there for him like they had been, and I guess his role changing. They didn't really throw it to the running backs at all. He had 1 target, and then no other running back had a target at all. They had kind of been consistently throwing it to the running back, so maybe it was a personnel, maybe it was the Bucks matchup. But just looking for that moving forward for him. But overall, I definitely think this opens up even if Stevenson comes back, I think it at least gets him to close to a 50-50 split, we would hope. And then from there, he could kind of hopefully become Rico Dowdle and take over the backfield with big plays and just consistent play. Ramondre is solid, but he doesn't have the upside that this young guy has. So it's only a matter of time with the Patriots winning these games, and they're going to want the best players out there, and it looks like he's the better player.
Yeah, for sure. Jamie, take it away with your fake player, please.
Yeah, it's Woody Marks. He's fool's gold. Let's pump the brakes on this one because I've been seeing people talking about Woody Marks like he's breaking out, and let's keep it real. Like, this ain't that because Woody got into the box score. Yes, he punched in that 1 yard touchdown and had a decent fantasy line. But let's be honest, this was smoke and mirrors. And Kyle in the chat can back me up on this because the Texans have the worst rushing grade in the entire league. And here's the crazy part. They haven't scored a single rushing goal line carry touchdown all season. It took 10 weeks just to finally get one.
Can I ask you why? And if I'm asking, you know the answer to give. Why?
It's because their offensive line sucks. They can't even get down to the goal line.
What is their offensive line?
Sucks.
Keep going. If I'm asking the question, there's only one way to answer this.
Bad. I don't know. What do you want me to?
Their offensive line is a dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire. Yes, dumpster fire.
God damn you.
So that touchdown, I just want to say it wasn't some statement run. It was a 1 yard fall into the end zone after I think a penalty actually set him up there at that point. And like the box score watchers are gonna say, like, hey, double-digit touchdown or double-digit carries and a touchdown, like, decent day. Yeah, so go sell Woody Marks to him because I don't think he was really creating anything all game. No burst, no power, like nothing that says I'm running away with this job. And, like, yeah, it's a good story. He's got solid hands. But the guy just doesn't move the needle in that offense. So for me, like, unless this offense suddenly figures out how to block or find the end zone without luck, like, Marks is just a short-term filler in your lineups, not an every week starter. However, I am starting him this week because it is a good matchup, but going forward after that, I don't want anything to do with him.
All right, so Raul, will you take this one and please answer the question at the same time?
Yeah, well, then JB is right. That is a great matchup for Woody Marks this week against the Tennessee Titans. That being said, if we do find out that J.K. Dobbins is out, which he is trending to be out, I would certainly start R.J. Harvey. Even in that matchup against the Chiefs, the scoring potential is just simply higher. Jamie, I mean, you kind of left it in a way for me to want to interpret the fake because are you saying fake on Woody Marks being the lead back? I don't think you are.
No, it was the touchdown because he should have only had like 10 fantasy points, not whatever he had, because it was literally a fall into the end zone after a penalty, and he got lucky.
So, but what I don't think is fake is that Woody Marks has taken over this backfield. I very much think he is the real RB1 of the Houston Texans. He had 79% of the snaps played, and honestly, I thought he was about to leave with like a pretty gnarly injury because first quarter he like walked to the sideline and then just stopped. It was like almost like that during Greenlaw Achilles like in the Super Bowl, right? Like just coming off. It looked very weird, and then he was back in the game.
He was walking off and then like almost to the white and then just fell to the ground.
Just fell. I thought that was like, man, Nick Chubb back on the table in the big 25, right? But, dominated the snaps, played 100% of the snaps inside the 10, which is 7 snaps, 4 attempts. What Jamie says is real. This is not a good rushing offense. It's a very poor offensive line against a Jags team that started the year very hot on defense, has now become one to certainly target in your matchups. I don't think we should get too over our skis And if you can sell high on Woody Marks, who I wasn't really a big fan of, I would consider it. But as far as being a weekly fantasy starter, I do think he has like low end RB2 flex potential, surely. I think, once you get over that a split backfield, which he has gotten over, you can't really poo-poo any running back that has like such a dominant share of their backfield. So I think in a pinch, I'd start Woody Marks. I would not expect elite numbers from him, but he does have that. Yeah, he has some bursts. He has some pass catching upside. His offense just isn't the best, right? But we do have tech. I just pulled the Texans schedule. They have the Titans next. They have the Cardinals. They have the Raiders left on their schedule. So there could be some matchups that you'd really do want to start this guy.
All right, so there's 2 more questions in the chat. I will bring those up in a minute. Jordan, why don't you take it away with your reel?
My reel is Rachaad White from the standpoint of this is a guy that has struggled with efficiency throughout his whole career, which is why Bucky Irvin has took the job from him. If he doesn't score a touchdown, he is barely getting you 10 to 11 points. And he hasn't scored a touchdown in the last couple of weeks, and he's finished as RB26, RB30, and RB27, scoring 8, 8, and 10 PPR points. So he has been so bad that Sean Tucker is getting more work in the rushing game, and actually looking better than White running the ball. So, some of the same ills that has plagued them has come back, and now the backup running back is looking better than him running the ball. It feels like deja vu for him. He started off his first 2 games scoring touchdowns and finished in the teens, but now he hasn't been able to get in the end zone. His passing work has kind of decreased a little bit, and so then you're left with disappointing games. We don't know when Bucky's coming back, so that's a plus for him right now. So he's going to still have opportunities, but it looks like that share for Tucker is getting closer to even. And if he isn't scoring a touchdown, which they were using Tucker inside like the 5 for some of those rushes. So if he doesn't get that, and he's never going to break a long run because he's just not really explosive. So if he isn't getting the goal line and he isn't going to get those explosive runs, then, you're just hoping and praying that he somehow finds a way to get a bunch of catches, which could happen, but it hasn't been happening for him lately. So I think it's a real from a standpoint of like, this is what you can expect for him, kind of touchdown dependent right now.
Yeah.
Jamie, take it away.
Yeah, I agree. It was a tough matchup last week, and there is a positive that he did catch all 5 of his targets. But Bucky, when he does come back, I can still see a slight role with him being like maybe a low-end flex option consideration, but like just because of that pass catching ability he has, but he's not really doing much with the opportunity that he's getting. And this week he does have a positive matchup, so I'll give him one more chance, hope for that 12 points in my lineup. But after that, pretty tough matchups. And then, like you said, like we don't know when Bucky's coming back. So this is what he is now. Yeah.
All right, so before Jordan goes with his fake, I wanted to save it for this one because, Jamie, you were the perfect person, good or bad, for this question. The Indianapolis Colts are on a bye this week, but a certain quarterback has not been doing super great the last couple of games. He's still performing, but not like he was at the beginning of the year. Here's the question, and I'm letting you answer it for the squad. What are your thoughts on starting Daniel Jones moving forward?
Jones moving forward, you kind of have to start him as a top 10 rest of the season, right? I think I would put him even higher than that. Maybe in that like 7. I can't say 6, 7, but maybe 7, 8. So
You saved yourself.
Definitely in that like 7, 8 area, I would say rest of the season.
All right. And Ryan, we will get to your next question during my real or fake. And Alex, we will have your question right after Jordan talks about his fake.
Jalen Naylor. I've been talking all year just about the pass volume concerns for the Vikings and how that could hurt T.J. Hawkinson and Jordan Addison. Jalen Naylor should have been nowhere on the radar, but like he had a big game. I think that was just more of the way that things played out. He made some nice plays. That touchdown catch was an awesome catch. He got his feet down, but yeah, and JJ McCarthy looked like he, had a little bit of chemistry with them. But I mean, overall, Addison has done nothing the last couple of games since McCarthy's been back. I see that trying to change. He had targets, just couldn't really connect. And then Justin Jefferson didn't have a game that we expected with the amount of pass attempts that McCarthy had. So I expect it to kind of shift to what we all know, Jefferson being the top dog, and then Addison also getting his share, and then maybe Hawkinson or Naylor maybe getting a couple catches here or there, but not this. He's not going to lead the team in yards. He's not going to finish as a top 5 receiver. So, it's just one of those things where it was a blip, not a trend, and I wouldn't go chasing him unless it's like a deep league and you need someone.
You know what?
I
don't need to
saw you mention in the chat. You were
Okay. So for everyone's I mean I was already gonna put my name down for this before I even asked the question. Yes, he's fake. With like you said, the pass volume, is he could he be that random guy like in best, like, yes, but you're not going to use him. You're not really putting him in your lineup. So for full transparency, I asked the guys in the group chat with just the 4 of us. Mac, I don't wear shoes, Hollins, or Jalen Naylor. Here's the thing. It was purely because I had too many guys getting dinged up, injured, out in Dynasty, had a roster spot. It is a very competitive industry type league. Like I would say 9 or 10 of the guys that are in this league, Jamie, you bumped elbows with them at the expo. It's all those kind of guys. So I'm not talking to like JJ Zachariah, but like guys on our level that are, at the expo. So it's guys that know their shit, deep rosters. I'm somehow in 3rd place with Brock Purdy and Josh Allen as my only 2 starting quarterbacks. Purdy hasn't played all year, and I happen to put freaking Alec Pierce in my super flex this week, and it worked. So it's one of those situations that's kind of like, so that's why I asked. Am I picking either one of those up? No, I'm going for another backup quarterback. Jamie, yes, I put in the bid for Tyrod Taylor. But yes, Naylor, I'm just for backup QB for that extra spot, just in case. But yes, Naylor is fake. I picked him up at the beginning of the year in a couple leagues, hoping that he would work out with Addison being out. It didn't really work, so I dropped him as soon as that. So I'm not going to go back and pick him up now. Let's get into this question real quick before Raul goes. I will read it out loud because it is a lot, and I know Jamie's going to stare at it and not be able to read it. And that's not being mean. It's just the truth.
Yeah, I don't have my glasses.
Hey, guys, this is my team for Week 11. Drake May, Derrick Henry, Judkins, JSN, Jay Jettis, McBride, Igbuka. His bench is Woody, Bucky, Harvey, Wandell, Corum, Pierce. Any changes 10-man PPR? In my opinion, absolutely not. Because in my opinion, you're not Drake Maystain, Henry, and Judkins. I'm not moving for Woody, Bucky, or Harvey.
So are we sure that this is not Henderson, like a nickname for Travion Henderson?
Oh, I took it as a
typo.
Typo in the Henderson. Yeah, I see what you're saying. If that's
I've
Travion
never heard
Henderson,
nobody call him Hendy, but I mean maybe.
If that is Travion, would you do? I'm guessing what you're saying is Harvey would be the only person you'd consider.
For me, no. I'm putting Henderson probably top 12, and Harvey will probably be around 18, 19, 20.
I would in PPR, I would consider RJ Harvey over Quinshon Judkins.
Okay.
Which I don't
Judkins,
know
yeah.
how helpful
You know what?
that advice is, but
You're
PPR.
not now that you
Against
now that
Baltimore. Now that I think
you're-
about it,
PPR, you're not. Yeah,
I might even start Woody over Judkins this
Judkins,
week against
yeah.
against Judkins because Baltimore is pretty tough,
Mhm.
and it's the Browns. So,
But if it's Derrick Henry, I mean,
if it's Henry, you're playing Henry.
but Henry or Henderson, I guess it doesn't matter. They're staying in. Yeah.
All right, so I'm just going to bring this up real quick because I know what this is about. Is this just a natural Indiana Jones story arc? Week 1 was the Lost Ark, while Week 10 was the Kingdom Skull. All right, Raul, take it away with your reel. Let me make sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, take it away with your reel, sir.
The way you ended that reel was like a question mark at the end. Yes, real, but one that pains me because the guy, I guess, who was on the fake side of this is one of my favorite players. But I do think it's time to call real on Devontae Smith being the wide receiver 1 on the Philadelphia Eagles. It's not even close this season. Devontae Smith is a wide receiver 13 in points per game, half PPR, while AJ Brown is wide receiver 41. I actually imagine that worsens in PPR. They have had the same number of targets in games played together, 54 to AJ Brown and 53 to Devontae Smith, but the production has been starkly different. Devontae Smith has outscored AJ Brown in 6 out of 8 games played together this season. If you kind of extend that to the back half of last year, including the Super Bowl run, it's not even close. Devontae Smith has really taken over this room, at least from a production point of view. The connection with Hurts has just been much better. Really, when you drill down the catch rate, AJ Brown is like 50%, 57% catch rate. Devontae Smith is at about 77%, and Devontae Smith's catch rate over expected far exceeds AJ Brown. You can kind of see this when you watch the games. At least, I guess the 3 of us watched the game, and Jordan didn't watch the game. But when you kind of see them play, that connection with Devontae Smith, that kind of like dagger shot, down the seam, Hurts and Devontae Smith have just been on like a much better wavelength. And bring it back to the top. AJ Brown is one of my favorite players in the league. I do think he's still a very, very talented wide receiver, but whether it's connection, whether it's attitude, whether it's OC, for whatever reason, I think Devontae Smith has surpassed him, and I would confidently be ranking Devontae Smith over AJ Brown moving forward in weekly rankings.
Okay.
Jamie? Or is that Jamie? That's
no.
Mike.
Okay, so I was curious where you were going with this one. And I 1000% agree with you. And I am shocked to say that I agree with you. Not because what you said. If you would have told me that AJ Brown would have had that stat line in the second half of what he had, I would have told you were nuts, because he was just in general, like this season has gone to start good and then bad for AJ Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've always said, this offense has to click right for this. Hurts has to click right with the wide receivers for this offense to click. And it's clicking with Devontae right now. He's getting behind the DBs. Mm-hmm. We do have to consider him. Two games ago, we wouldn't have said that. Like in that big league I'm in, it's 110 yards and touchdowns only. 2 weeks ago, Devontae got dropped because he wasn't doing squat. And then the guy, now he's on the newsletter email thing saying that, yes, it's old school. Yes, he's in the newsletter thing chatting every week going, man, I wish I didn't give up Devonta Smith. He is real. He is going to still be real. And that's what I mean. There's not much more to add to yours except the fact that he might be the number one weapon in this offense, including Saquon Barkley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's the shocker.
Yeah. And I think, maybe we could have made this conclusion over the last few weeks, but I think especially a team coming out of a bye, that's when you try to see if there's any change in usage and just who they want to focus. And AJ Brown is just not a priority on this team. So I think,
No.
Mike, we're on the same page there. So moving on to my fake, I think this is going to be a quick one. Michael Pittman, who had a dud in the box score, only 2 catches, 2 targets. Rare dud game for Pittman, who's a wide receiver 1 on the year, covered by AJ Terrell. But this game, and I kind of want to just throw out all international games from when you really calculate any stats, because it's just a bunch of nonsense there overseas. But once JT got it going, it turned into an absolute run fest. 41 rush attempts in the game to just 26 passes. JT had over 30 carries himself. Interesting thing about the Colts is that they are actually a very high pass rate team in neutral situations. This year, they have just been leading in so many games that it's seemingly turned into a high run volume offense. But once you're up double-digit scores, just give it to the best running back in the world. But this is why I'm really very interested in Michael Pittman. Alec Pierce coming out of their bye is after the bye, they play the Chiefs, they play the Niners, they play the Seahawks, they play the Jaguars twice. I think all these are prime situations for higher scoring, more competitive game than with the Jaguars in particular. Absolute pass funnel of a defense. So just to put this into concrete example, the most recent game for the Colts before this one against the Steelers, where they lost, Daniel Jones had 50 pass attempts when they really had to play in catch-up mode. All the weapons showed their ceiling. And I think more of those kinds of games will be coming for Michael Pittman after the bye. So I'm calling a fake on this rare dud game for Michael Pittman.
I agree.
Jordan?
Earlier this year, I had said he was a real just from the consistency being the number 1 target. Alec Pierce has kind of stepped up, but I don't think that dims Pittman's, from his role. And if once it's all about them being able to control the game with the running game, with Taylor doing what he's doing. When they have to throw, they're looking for Pittman, Tyler Warren, guys like that. So I'm not worried. This game doesn't shy me away from him. I just think, like you said, we can look forward to those games where they're going to have to throw. And when they have to throw, he's going to be a part of that offense at a good clip. So, yeah, I think this was a fake performance.
Absolutely. It's really quick. The Colts are such a lovely constructed offense, man, because all these weapons excel at like very different things. Like you just said it there, like Pierce and Pittman, their roles don't intersect. Pittman's that intermediate area, Pierce is a deep threat, Downs in the slot, Warren on the mismatches, Jonathan Taylor. And was it Alex who had that question, or someone in the chat asking about Daniel Jones? You have to start the quarterback of a team that's projected for top 5 points each week. There's just so many points on the table, so keep starting Daniel Jones.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I just want to make sure I have it up right so I can point it out to you or to bring it up. And I thought I did, but I don't know if I do anymore. Okay, yes, I do. All right, so my reel is Zay Flowers. And yes, Jamie, I put you on this for a certain reason. Not because you love Zay Flowers and not because you dislike Zay Flowers. But I think that out of all of my friends in our circles, industry, whatever you want to call it, me and you have probably had the most one-on-one off-camera discussion about Zay Flowers than me and any other person. So I figured it was only fitting for me and you to discuss Zay Flowers on camera. Here's the thing. Last week he was wide receiver 30 with 10.1 fantasy points. No touchdown. That's half point PPR. 10.1 in week 1. He had 24.6, 11.4, 2.3, 10, 9, 9, 7, 6, 10, 8, 10. Here's the funny thing. That week 1, he went off, was at the Buffalo game, Baltimore-Buffalo. He had the long touchdown and had the great game there. So he had 24 4% or 20% target share yesterday. Not bad. Here's the funny part. He's played 6 games with Lamar. 3 games without Lamar. With Lamar, 25.5% target share. 32 receptions in those 6 games. So 5 something on, an average. Only the 1 touchdown, which was week 1. Jamie, can you take a guess what his target share, the 3 games that Lamar was out?
I don't know. I'm going to guess 17.
What if I told you it was 31.6?
Oh, actually, what? More. Okay.
It went up. No touchdowns. Here's the thing. In those 3 games, 18 receptions. So he averaged 6 on the dot. Team yards, 35.8. His team yards, percentage-wise, with Lamar, 36. Here's my problem with Zay. He doesn't score a lot of touchdowns. And if he doesn't score, what did I say at the beginning of the year when we talked about that big league, Jamie? He is average. He's an average receiver in the league. I am sick of everyone talking about him being this big-time wide receiver. I'm done. I don't see it. I bought into it for a year, and he bit me in I don't know how many redraft leagues. I bought him in Dynasty, and he bit me there. He is an average receiver unless he gets touchdowns, and with the way this offense is, he's not going to get as many as we need him to get. Jamie.
Yeah, I mean, he's a 12 to 14 point guy. That's what you can expect. I mean, there is no upside unless he gets those touchdowns. And like you said, he doesn't get them. He only had 1 all year, right?
Yep.
But the positive is he is wide receiver 24 on the year, I believe, in full PPR when I looked. And that's a value. Consider we were getting him at wide receiver 36, 38 in drafts. So that's a positive I like to look at. But who really wants to start a receiver with really no upside? So you're going to put him as a wide receiver 3 the rest of the year, maybe a flex consideration. There's no way he could be a top 24 receiver going forward, especially without those touchdowns.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. So I'm going to bring up this question real quick, and then I'm going to lead into it. Also, is Bijan still a must start? Okay. Where we drafted Bijan, it is going to be very hard to sit the guy. But when you have a thief, and yes, I'm calling him a thief. Okay. People that go to BYU are usually stand-up citizens. Okay. But when they go to Germany and go to Berlin and get on a football field and decide to participate in thievery, I got an issue. And yes, my fake is none other than Tyler Algier. For God's sakes, this man had, in half-point PPR, running back 8 performance, 17.7 points. He had a 14-point game in week 2. But he's also had 1, 2, 3, 4 games this season with the bye, not including the bye, but there's already been the bye in there. So in 4 weeks this season, he had under 3 fantasy points. You know whose touchdowns those should have been, gentlemen? I went on a little rant last week because of the usage. And these guys are just proving my point by giving Algier the crucial carries at the goal line and giving them when they should. Jamie is on air Sunday morning. And I literally had to type in the chat. I think I typed this word for word. Algier, TD again. I did not like having to do it. I don't see this being a thing. He might get another week, but it's going to be fluky. You're not going to have him in your lineup because when you do put him in your lineup, he's going to shit the bed. Raul, why am I right?
Guys, I feel like this is going to be the second fake that I kind of push back on today's episode. Let me start with a quick anecdote. Sunday, I had a buddy who bet on a Kenneth Walker touchdown. I don't know who does that. They clearly haven't been watching the fantasy cheat sheet.
Nope.
And then we saw George Holani go in. I was like, this guy, Charbonnet, what crazy wiggle I didn't expect. It was George Holani. Makes sense. So then the guy comes back and he's like, I have a theory that the Seahawks don't want to give Kenneth Walker his touchdown, so he's easier to re-sign on a contract. It's like, whatever. But when I thought about it, that's what's happening with Bijan Robinson, man. If Raheem Morris can't shut his mouth about Bijan being the best player in the NFL, they got to find some other way to get that running back contract down. But let me tell you, Mike, I think the thievery is real. The thievery is real. Don't expect those 2 touchdown games, but a 50-50 carry split like we saw in goal line attempts. I think that's very much within Algier's range of outcomes. If you look at their attempts broken down by location, Algier has 21 red zone rush attempts to Bijan's 17. When in goal-to-go situations, Algier has 13 just to 4 of Bijan. And then when another stat, when in leading situations, it's nearly split 44 to Algier, 53 Bijan. He still has a little heads up. I think at this point of the season, you can kind of call that usage real. And to your point, Mike, yeah, we're probably going to see a lot more 12 carries for 36 yards and no touchdown from Algier.
Yes.
But when I look at them have the Panthers on the schedule, the Saints on the schedule, the Jets, and then week 16, the Cardinals, I think those are ones that you can maybe think that they're going to lead. They're probably going to outscore the opposition. And that's where in a pinch, I wouldn't mind starting Algier. I have a fantasy team that Bijan's my RB1. Kimani Vidal, he has a few more weeks of plausibility. Chuba Hubbard fell off. But I have Tyler Algier, and I honestly am probably going to start both of them in a couple of those weeks. So I think the usage really, and unfortunately, it is real at this point. They have stated their case of how they want to use these guys.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate part about it. I mean, it reminds me of those days. I mean, not saying like the firepower of him, but like, I know you and Jordan are younger than me, but I know you're not that young. The 28-3 Super Bowl year of the Atlanta Falcons, there was a couple leagues that I had Coleman and Freeman on my team. And every time I put Coleman in, Freeman went off. And every time I put Freeman in, Coleman went off. You know who I have to blame for that? The San Francisco 49ers head coach. So thank God that he's got a workhorse, because if it wasn't for the workhorse in CMC, we'd be having the same damn problems this year. All right, let's get done with real or fake. We are sitting at the hour mark on the dot. Let's do this thing. Jamie, it is time for Matchup Mania. And I think last week we talked about the Steelers, but there's a different team that they're playing this week. So it is the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Pittsburgh, I don't know what they are lately, so take it away.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh Squealers. I want to start with the Squealers offense. I mean, they got that ground and pound mode. I'm going to start with Jalen Warren. Must start this week. I'll be ranking him inside my top 10, probably 8 to 10 somewhere. Let's see, like Warren, he owns that backfield. He's getting the majority of the rushes, and the Bengals, they do give up about 140 plus yards on average, including the 127 yards to Warren just a few weeks ago. So he does have top 5 upside this week. So get him in your lineup. Aaron Rodgers, I'll be streaming him this week. Probably going to rank him around QB 15, 16. He's very efficient, but he does that at low volume. And the Bengals, they do allow the fourth most quarterback points, around the 22 mark. But Rodgers, with him being conservative, kind of caps the ceiling. But he is a safe QB2 this week with a couple touchdown potential. Don't expect the 250, 4 touchdowns he got last time they played. But DK Metcalf, man, this guy is disappointing. I don't even want to flex him, honestly, and I'm not putting him in my top 25. Like those deep targets that he's supposed to be so good at, those are down, and his production has been shaky. I do expect about 6-7 targets, but limited big play chances against like the zone defense that they play. And last meeting, he only had 3 catches for 50 yards. Freiermuth, he's interesting, man. Top 10 upside. Bengals give up the most points at tight ends. Freiermuth, he's got that red zone role, and that volume just makes him a strong tight end one play. But Jonnu, don't start Jonnu. Disappointing. He could see some targets. I think he's running about 40% of the snaps, but minimum targets. Very touchdown dependent, only usable in deep formats. And then on the Bengals side, we got Joe Flacco. Not sure how you can sit Flacco going forward when he plays, because the Steelers this week, they allowed the 6th most points to quarterbacks. Flacco is actually rewriting records at 40 years old, which is crazy. 470 yards, 4 touchdowns the game before the bye week. And I could see 40-plus attempts. I'll probably finish in the top 10 again. Chase Brown, I think he's a decent start. Like last game, he's seen 95% of the snaps. But the Steelers' run defense, they're allowing, 90 yards per game. Brown will probably have 3 to 4 catches, add another 25 yards on that. So I expect about 14, 15 points from him. So decent start. Jamar Chase is going to go nuclear again. How could he not? Give him 100-plus yards. He already had 100-plus yards in multiple games this year with Flacco targeting him heavily. So the Steelers secondary, they're allowing the most points to receivers, or the most yards to receivers at 194 yards. So expect a massive game. T. Higgins, he'll be in my top 20 also. Solid wide receiver too. I think he can exploit that zone coverage, and especially in those intermediate routes. And that's where Pittsburgh sucks. So upside 8 to 10 targets maybe with a touchdown. Noah Fant, I'll probably stream him if I have to. Steelers allow about 17 points to tight ends, which is the 5th most, and he's a strong play over Gesicki. So I also expect about 6-7 targets for Noah Fant. Bench Gesicki, don't start him. I'm expecting a very high-scoring game. So last time these teams combined for 64 freaking points. Like I could see even more higher scoring this time, and I could maybe even see over 67 points.
All I'm going to say is this is all I'm going to say. I'm going to keep it nice and short, and I'm going to lead right into you. Take that matchup mania, grab the crystal ball, and just smash it, and then give it to Jordan and let him look into the future.
So normally I'm targeting the Dolphins defense because it stinks. But I'm switching things up this week. After the Dolphins defense has looked decent the last couple of weeks, I think their offense is going to have a big game this Sunday. And they're somewhere overseas. I think it's
Madrid.
Okay, yeah, in Spain. Against the Commanders. The Commanders are one of the worst pass defenses in the league, giving up about 260 passing yards a game, 22 touchdowns so far this season. So that's about 2 per game. I wanted to say Tua throws for 3. He threw for 2 touchdowns last week against the Bills. I see him kind of doing that again, minus the turnovers. In a win, a high-scoring game, but I think the Dolphins will win. Kind of Tua throwing for around 275, 2 touchdowns, hopefully one of which to each end, but 2 touchdowns, and they beat the Commanders.
For sure. I think that's going to be an interesting game in Madrid. We'll see what ends up happening. But guess what, boys? You know what time it is. It is time for Boom or Doom. Take
Boom
it
or
away,
doom.
Raul.
And another week with Jordan stealing my target. I guess not. He almost stole the target the Dolphins. I thought we were going to come out with Chris Rodriguez touchdown this week, but no. Let me go with my boom. I don't even think I've typed this guy's first name out because it took me a second. But Quentin Johnston against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think he's going to have a boom game with a receiving touchdown. The Jags have been absolutely ripped to shreds in the past few weeks. We just saw Davis Mills finish as the QB1, fantasy QB1 on the week. They also conceded 5 passing touchdowns to Stafford, 4 to Geno, and the Raiders. Thank God we're so far removed from that Thursday night game. We snuck by with just a whiff of a mention. But yeah, 4 passing touchdowns to Geno, only 2 touchdowns to Mills, but Mills had his own rush touchdown, and Woody Marks had that touchdown. But yeah, I think the Chargers, even without Joe Alt, will have their way with this Jaguars defense. I think Quentin Johnston will be one of the biggest beneficiaries. I think he'll get back into scoring ways. So he's my boom for this week. My doom, a game that yours truly will be witnessing with his own eyes. Rams Seahawks this Sunday. It should be an exciting game between 2 of the NFC's very best. But I am fading the Seahawks running backs this week, just considering they're going up against one of the very best rush defenses in the league. The Rams have given up the joint fewest rush touchdowns, only 3 all year. They're also 7th fewest in rush yards and yards per carry conceded. On top of this, the Seattle backfield is just a mess for fantasy. You've kind of gotten away with starting Charbs as a touchdown or bust flex. I would be a little bit cautious about that this week. Ken Walker, man, I think the experiment is over. Please consider even picking some guy off the waivers, Chris Rodriguez off the waivers, and play him over Kenneth Walker. I think it could not be more over, which is a shame. And then you just wouldn't expect this the kind of game script that lets Seahawks build up a lead that they have and lean into the rush attempts up against the Los Angeles Rams in LA. I think it should be a shootout, but not one that will be beneficial for the Seahawks running back. So consider switching some other options this Sunday. And, I really wouldn't start Charbs, Walker, and certainly not George Holani.
For sure. Like
right.
that's a little scary to start Holani.
And so here comes our favorite part of the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be the Mike, the man who is the only person who still believes that the Jaguars have a Super Bowl window. So let's hit that rant of the week, my guy. Grab your popcorn. Let's hit it.
Super Bowl window for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You're on crack. That good stuff from Cleveland Heights or something, whatever it's called. All right, here we go. I have never thought they had a Super Bowl window. However, 2 years ago on the show, my bold prediction was that the Jaguars were going to win the division that year, and they pulled it off. They actually won. Then they shit the bed. Then I did defend them and said, Liam Cohen's going to come in. He is going to change. He's going to help Travis Etienne. He's going to help this culture, and he is going to help Trevor Lawrence. Correct? Well, here's the problem. How do I say this? They frickin' blew it. You have a 19-point lead at the end of the third quarter against a division opponent being led by Davis General Mills, Lucky Charms himself. Okay? Davis Mills might be the longest neck in the NFL since Mike Glennon. And you let this guy go down and score a touch, go down and beat you. not only do you let this guy in the fourth quarter throw a pass to Jaden Higgins for a touchdown, then he gets one to Schultz. Wait, do I see that right? With 31 seconds left, they scored a rushing touchdown. Was it Nick Chubb? No. Was it Woody Marks? No. It was the giraffe himself. I didn't know they let the giraffe out of the zoo in Houston, Texas. For gosh sakes. Then you go and you're trying to win the game, and Jacksonville gives up another fluky touchdown. They fumble the ball, and they score. I love it for IDP because I got a guy named freaking Daniil Hunter on my team, and he did marvelous. But here's the problem. I'm speaking as a Jags fan, and I'm not happy because do you guys remember what happened in like January-ish of this past year? We were all watching TV, and all I heard was, Duval. You know what, Liam Cohen? You can take that Duval and shove it straight up your Sunshine State's hiney. That's the rant.
I just went and looked up. I typed in Davis Mills because I never noticed his neck, but
I'm not wrong, am I?
no.
Outside of the uniform, he's got a
It's
tiny neck.
You're kidding. What?
I'm not lying. He went to Stanford. He's got a big head and a giant neck.
Man, that's crazy.
All right. You guys all thought I was joking.
I just never noticed it. I remember
Yeah,
Mike.
because no one sees him outside of his helmet.
I remember Mike Glennon for sure, but
The difference is Mike Glennon has the forehead and the neck. All right. Right before we get into the cheat of the week and end this show, go support our sponsor, Underdog, capital letter GF2, and you will get up to $1,000 in bonus bucks, highers and lowers every week in every major sport. And also, when it's best ball season, I'm just going to say it. It's a 99.9999% chance at one point you're in a league with Jamie. So go ahead, GF2 in capital letters, and you will get up to $1,000 in bonus bucks. All right, I got to look at this freaking chat in a second because I see something and I don't know what it says. And I just saw a certain coach from Ohio State's name, so I'm a little worried. Did Urban Meyer do irreparable damage to Trevor Lawrence? Somebody did. I'm not going there. Wait, what? You're gonna be at the Grey Cup? That's pretty dope. That's gonna be dope that you're at the Grey Cup. All right, let's get right into the cheat of the week. Jamie, take it away.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna get Mr. 9.99 RAS score himself, Theo Johnson. He had a 22.2% target share last week, 7 catches, 75 yards. I mean, Theo looks real, and I mean, he is a key piece in that Giants passing attack and a red zone attack. So I'm expecting him to be a tight end 1 streaming option.
I do not disagree. I just love the fact that you started your damn talk book off with RAS score, and I didn't even have to say anything. Jordan.
it's hard to sell people on picking up someone when the team just scored 7 points in a game that not everyone in the country could watch. However, I'm going to say pick up Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, who has like the longest head in the NFL with the Guardian cap. He went down with an injury. We talked about Tucker Kraft being out. Octavian Wicks just isn't that good. So you go pick up Watson. They gave him money before he came back from his injury. He got a good deal. They're invested in him. He has the talent. He's healthy right now. Don't know how long it's going to be. but he's healthy. Pick him up. I think this offense will get better. Can't get much worse, but they've shown flashes. He is the deep threat. He's a big target. He has the talent. Just get it's no harm in picking him up, and he could end up being the guy for this team moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. Well, take it away, Roll.
I'm going to pull a fast one, you guys, and change up the name. Maybe I'll touch on that guy too. But given the news coming out this week, go check your waiver wires and see if Joe Burrow is on waivers. There was actually one league that I picked him up on Friday. That was just a prayer. That was just the masculine urge to, use up all my IR spots where possible. So I was like, man, should I do Kyler? Should I do Stroud? No, why not? Let's take Joe Burrow. It'll look funny on my lineup. And I immediately was rewarded with the news coming out this week that as early as week 13, Joe Burrow could be back. He just started practicing this week. Albeit one out of many leagues. Only one was he available, but do check yours to make sure, especially if you're playing in those leagues without even an IR spot. The original Burrow manager could have had to drop him in a roster crunch. So do go check it. Sleeper, does the trending players, so he's a little more visible, but these other apps, ESPNs and Yahoos and such, he literally might just be buried with a 0 projection, right? So go check if Joe Burrow's there. The other guy I do want to touch on is Dallas Cowboys running back Phil Maffa. He's a rookie, 7th round pick. Interesting situation behind Javonte Williams, where Jaden Blue, started the year healthy scratch, came back in, wore some blue cleats, got really bad shoe burn or whatever they call it. Played a few snaps, got healthy scratched again. Malik Davis, who was, kind of bounced on their practice squad, he was active for the Cardinals game, cut right after the game, and all the talk is that Phil Maffa is going to be activated from IR and be the direct backup to Javonte Williams. Honestly, not the best of prospects, but he's a big boy. If Javonte were to go down, this is an offense that we want to target the backup running back from. He could have very high upside if Javonte were to go down. So, especially in Dynasty, I picked him up on free in a lot of Dynasty leagues last week. Certainly will be available in redraft. So go look for that high upside option on your bench.
All right. Before we get out, half PPR. I already know my opinion. We'll throw it around the horn, starting with Raul. We'll go around the horn the same direction. After I give my answer, we'll get sign-offs going. It's been a great show, everyone. We're almost at like an hour and 25 minutes. Grandpa Jordan's got to go to bed soon. No. Jamie's probably got to wake up at 5 a.m. that once a week. Let's just get straight into this question. Drop Mason, Spears, or Pollard for Troy Franklin in half PPR.
Yeah.
Roll. Or
Oh.
you're good.
I'd honestly probably drop all of them, and I probably would. Oh my god, I don't even know who is the shittiest one on here.
Tony Pollard.
Paul, yeah. I hate to say it, but drop Tony Pollard. Yeah. But drop any of them. Yes. Get Franklin.
I'd drop Tony Pollard just to have an empty spot. I wouldn't pick him. I have him on my team.
Okay. Jordan, can I ask you an honest question?
Yes.
Do you have PTSD? Because I still think I do.
From that Pollard top 5 take?
Just Pollard in general. Pollard has just given me PTSD in general.
It's just going to be residual hate forever. It's never going to go away. Doesn't matter if he rushes for 2,000 yards.
No, it doesn't matter. He's done so much damage to my soul that it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Jamie.
Yeah, I'm doing Pollard. But I'd do any of them, honestly, for Franklin.
I'm going to agree with everyone, but I'm also going to say something about another player on here that we didn't bring up in the show. What I saw on Sunday scares me about Mason's usage.
Yeah.
It's going the wrong direction. And
I almost, yeah. So sorry, Mike. I almost wanted to say Mason, but if I don't want to have 2 Tennessee running backs.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm fine with dropping Pollard. Out of these 3, I'm keeping Spears.
Yeah, there is one more question for a chopped league. Would you go after DiCarmato or Kamara?
DeCamardo.
DiCarmato.
I would go. I mean, Kamara. I'll go for Kamara for sure.
Yeah, same.
But Kamara is on a bye, so if you have to jam someone in to your lineup, Mercado. Yeah.
Yep. All right. It's been a great show. Let's throw it around for sign-offs. Roll.
Yeah. Another great show, guys. Like I said at the top of the show, momentum is surging. The boys are on the hunt for championships. We're getting down to the business end of the season. And just love chopping it up with you guys every week. So good luck in week 11. And yeah, thanks to all the viewers for sticking with us the last hour and a half.
Good show. Appreciate all the questions. Everybody get your waiver claims in. Look for Joe Burrow deep on waivers. He's not going to have a projection, but look for him in the trending if you're on Sleeper or anywhere else. But just go get those gems on waivers. Looking forward to getting some dubs this week and be back next week to talk about it.
Yeah, and always check us on Going for Two every Tuesday. Also, I do the Sunday morning cheat sheet. No, Sunday morning Star Sit show. This is a cheat sheet. So catch me and Raul and Kyle on our Dynasty 6-pack episodes every week. And then tomorrow, I got a special guest on my IDP Center, getting Scott Bogman on. So at 10:15 tomorrow Eastern time, if you're available, go to the IDP Center and check out Scott Bogman and I.
All right. You guys know what's about to happen. It's been a great night. It's been a great show. For Raul, for Jordan, and for that guy up top, I'm Mike. Have a nice night, everyone, and peace.